and get the prayer going. Good morning, good morning. How's everything going with you this morning? Well, you know why I'm calling you. I'm calling you. Huh? I'm calling you for you.
No, I'm sorry, I'm not talking to you.
Oh, we always call you on Friday morning so we could get our spirit up there.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. So I'm calling you this morning, so see if you're ready to ignite our spirit.
I am definitely ready to ignite all of our spirits with.
Right on.
And the one I chose for the message I chose for us today says, "Come to me for all that you need. Come into my presence with thanksgiving, for thankfulness opens the door to my treasures." When you are thankful, you affirm the central truth that I am good. I am light, in whom there is no darkness at all. The assurance that I am entirely good meets your basic need for security. I'm going to go over that again. I am light, in whom there is no darkness at all. The assurance that I am entirely God means your basic need for security. Your life is not subject to the whims of sin-stained deity. Relax in the knowledge that the one who controls your life is totally trustworthy. Come to me with confident expectation. There's nothing you need that I cannot provide. This message can be found in Psalms 94, verse 2, John chapter 1, verse 5, Psalms 19, verse 7, and Hebrews, verse 4, chapter 16.
Always a blessing on Friday morning to hear the prayers coming from you and igniting our spirit. I got a bishop on this morning, and I know you're enlightening him also. You know,
Okay.
yeah, he's not just a bishop; he's a pastor also of a church. So we got it going on this morning. And look, you have a blessed day. Thank you for all that you do for the show. And we're having a little technical difficulties this morning, but it's not that much, you know. So
Yeah.
God can always bless us and keep on blessing us. But
Well, I have to thank you. And the show, because you guys enlighten my life. These Fridays mean everything to me.
right on.
And I appreciate you trusting me with delivering the word to the show. And you guys stay blessed. I know you're going to be blessed because we know who to trust.
Yes.
So
Okay.
the technical difficulties, all that's going to be worked out.
Oh yeah, in a minute. 'Cause
I love you. I'm proud of you. And thank God for you.
thank God
Have
for you.
a nice day to you.
You too, baby.
Okay, bye.
Okay, well, we on live now. So welcome to the Community Matters Show. I don't know if we had a chance to hear the prayer, you know, that sparks our spirit on Friday morning. But right now we on, and I have a guest. My co-host is not with me this morning. He's gonna let me fly solo this morning. But I got my guest, Carlos Harvin, Bishop Carlos Harvin, with Community Affair. I want to say good morning to you. How should I call you? Bishop, Community Minority Affair Chief. I'm going to let you introduce yourself the way you want to be introduced.
Well, Brother Wallace, thank you for all of those greetings, and I greet you as well, and any one of those is acceptable. It's an honor to be, especially for Black History Month, to be on your show for Community Matters.
Yeah, definitely proud to have you on. You know, we got some things we need to talk about as far as you being the Chief Minority Affair person, you know. I'm all over in the community, and I'm always being asked questions that, what are you really talented to, you know. I know that position was created for you, you know, for the community. You have asked the community to put certain things on paper, what the North Side community needs. I don't look at it as the North Side, I look at it as Lafayette, you know. We got 3 Lafayette. We got Old Lafayette, we got South Side Lafayette, and we got Upper Lafayette. So now, but we're asking certain things to be done on the north side of Lafayette. And like I say, it's all good, but we got so much we have to do for the north side. You know, a lot of time business want to come on the north side, and people runs them away. You know, that's the way I see it. You know, because they don't want this, they don't want that. But everybody's saying ain't nothing being done for the north side. And I think it's, you know, what John Kennedy said, not what we could do for the country, it's what you could do for the country. So it's what we have to do for North Lafayette, is the people that have to do for North Lafayette. Now, with that said, I'm going to turn the mic back over to you.
I think that's a powerful quote from former President John F. Kennedy. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. I think if we apply that locally here in Lafayette, we could say, ask not what your city can do for you, but what you can do for your city.
Right.
And in my 3 years, I want to thank Mayor President Josh Guillory for appointing me to this position, the first ever Chief of Minority Affairs, to give me an opportunity. We became friends on the campaign trail. We were both running for Mayor President.
Right, yeah.
And what the Mayor President said to me is, everything that you ran on for the North Side, he said, I want you to know that if elected, he would commit himself and his administration to pursuing those goals. And so that quote of John F. Kennedy, what can you do for your city? We've been blessed over the last 3 years with many leaders, pastors, community partners, whether it's youth through our summer. You know, if people don't know, they're going to ask that question, is anything being done for the North Side? So I'm glad to give a report card, an update. President Biden gave the State of the Union. Let me give the State of the North Side.
Okay.
So that people won't have to walk around with disinformation or misinformation, but they'll get good information. The last 2 summers at our summer camps, we've had full summer programs because people like Corey Levier, Kissy Williams at the Martin Luther King Center. We've had so many leaders, Brittany Houston at Robichaux Rec, just so many leaders, all 10 of our camps, from the Bowles Activity Center on Simcoe to the Domain Rec Center, our partnership with Smile, Pastor Craig Matthews. We had about 1,500 youth from elementary through high school service. That's just one.
Hold on, Colin, we're coming to you.
Of many things. So I'm starting with the youth. I have a special place in my heart for the young people of our city. And as Chief of Minority Affairs, I'm very concerned that whether it's Parks and Rec, community development, whatever the LUS fiber, whatever it is, that we're servicing low-income communities and low-income residents of Lafayette.
Okay. Well, let's go to the caller right now. Caller, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine. Yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I have 3 comments. First of all, I want to thank Bishop Carlos Harvard. This is Jennifer Randall Thorpe, CEO of Meaningful Minds United. We had the opportunity to take part in one of the Parks and Recreation camp on last summer. The Young Leaders of Lafayette Summer Camp. And we provided educational programs, enrichment, art, and other activities for the youth. We had one-on-one peer sessions with the youth, found out some of the problems that they were experiencing, and that was just one camp. There were 10 camps, but it was like a trial period for us, and we could not divide ourselves between all of the camps. But this year, Lord Spirit, we're going to be prepared to distribute our employees among all of the centers with the permission of Parks and Recreation and the camp directors. The second comment I'd like to make is that I'd like to also thank Bishop Carlos Harvard for the advent of the Health Equity Committee that was established during the COVID-19 pandemic, during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. And we know how adversely it affected the African American community. And so that committee was started with the intent of discovering what the disparities were in the COVID-19 pandemic with the African American population. Phenomenal job. And I understand that there's going to be a resurgence of that committee, and that is awesome. And we're going to focus not only on the pandemic as it is passing, not gone, but passing, but we're going to focus on the other disparities that exist between populations here. And not just the African American population, the Hispanics, the Asians as well. So, phenomenal job, Mr. Carlos Harvard. And the last comment I'd like to make, if I may, is that he has advented with the help of the Mayor President, Northside Pastors Committee that actually meets with the mayor on a quarterly basis now. We used to meet monthly, and that was during the height of the pandemic. It was not about the pandemic, but it was about the conditions that existed in North Lafayette. And all of the pastors were included in this endeavor. So, great job, Bishop Carlos Harvard. And I see that not only as my bishop and pastor, but as a great man of God and a great man for the city of Lafayette. Thank you for all of your efforts.
Thank you, Minister Jennifer.
Thank you for calling. Bishop, she gave you your flowers this morning,
You know, there's a saying that says, give me my flowers while I can smell them.
Yeah.
Because when you go to a funeral home, you know, they're full of flowers, but the person in the casket can't smell them.
No.
So share those flowers, and I want to thank my sister for sharing those flowers, and I want to share flowers with her for her commitment for mental health. We discovered that the COVID pandemic was not only a physical virus, but there was also a mental health aspect to that pandemic. Suicide rates increased, incidences of domestic violence increased with the social distancing. There were so many mental health and emotional factors that became part of that COVID-19 pandemic. And Minister Jennifer and her organization, a nonprofit called Meaningful Minds United, is in Lafayette to address among our youth and among married couples and adults in our community.
Okay, well, I haven't been as active in the community like I would like to be because of, how can I put it without downgrading myself? Everybody went through a little mental stage. Well, I lost the love of my life, my wife, and I think I started going downhill a little bit, and I knew I was going to come back up. I knew that, You know, it just took time
Mm.
for me to keep climbing the mountain.
Well, I want to give you my condolences. I was not aware that you had lost your wife. I do remember prior to the pandemic and in the
Mhm.
beginning part, how devoted you were
Yeah,
to getting her to her doctor's appointments, dialysis appointments, and you were faithful. You
Yeah.
said, "Hey Bishop, we can't meet at this time
Yeah,
because I got to get my wife to the clinic."
yeah,
But certainly, as I pray for you and your healing and the peaceful repose of her soul,
Mhm.
I think we draw comfort to know that her final days with us
right, right.
were much better because of your constant presence.
Oh, yeah.
And you, as a loving husband
Well,
for his wife.
You know, a lot of people had looked down on me because we wasn't married on paper,
Mm.
but we was married in our heart.
Well, I can tell you, as a pastor over 30 years who've done a lot of weddings,
Mm-hmm.
people sign papers
Yeah.
and then they tear them up. So, paper or no paper,
Mm-hmm.
if it's written in you wrote it in your heart,
Yeah.
that is what is most acceptable to God.
Yeah.
There's a scripture talking about King David. People overlooked him, say he ain't worth being king. He ain't nobody.
Yeah.
And God had to tell the prophet Samuel,
Yeah.
man judges by appearance. People judge by
By
appearance,
appearance.
but the Lord
Judge
looks
by
into the
God.
heart.
Mhm.
So I know God looked into your heart and the heart of your lovely wife and knew the love. I could see the love
Yeah.
that y'all had for each
Oh,
other.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I knew about that. So
Well, you know, it's not about her and I, but when I first got with her, she told me somebody had told her that somebody held the key to her heart, and looked like I got that key. You know, and me being a God-believing man, a Bible-reading man, nowhere in that Bible have I found it says you got to go before man for two people to be joined together. The Lord said, what I have joined together, let no man put it under.
come on,
You know, so that's what I did.
all I can is preach.
Well,
Preach, brother.
You know, and that's why I went with that. But anyway, let's get back before we run out of time, because
Okay.
this little hour go by so quick. You understand me? Look like they put turbo on it. You know, and when you turbo something, it goes faster. So the thing of it is, you know, I hear people talk in the community, say they want us to fill out a paper for what we would like to see done to the north side. And I'm not taking nothing away from you, but they say all you gotta do is just ride around. And you can see what the north side needs, you know. Well, Manley, a lot of our streets, you know, need to be redone, especially the service road, like coming from Super One, you know, coming towards the old Walmart. That have to be done. A lot of streets need to be resurfaced. You know, they've been patched so many times, they can't be patched no more because you're putting patch on top of a patch, you know, and it all it does is make it worse. We have businesses coming up in Lafayette that I know of, you know.
Could I jump in there just on the roads?
Yes,
Is that
sir.
fine? You, I want to just emphasize, because I live on the north side, so I
Yeah.
see it every day. I'm a block from the Evangeline Thruway,
Mhm.
right there, and some call it Fightonville, some call it Wine Alley. Some people, they say, well, I'm next door to the house that with the crane flipped over the other night.
Yeah.
That's where I live on Goldman.
Yeah.
So I see it every day, and we drive miles
Mhm.
if we're going to a grocery store besides Super One.
Mhm.
Our neighbors do the same.
Yeah.
So we're very well aware, and just when you talk about roads, particularly the major thoroughfare that drives through the heart of the north side, the Evangeline Thruway.
Oh,
The mayor, president, our governor, John Bell Edwards, the Biden administration, State Senator Gerald Boudreaux, State Rep Vincent Pierre, all of our congressional delegation, even our city council, everybody is in agreement that we need that I-49 connector.
yeah.
That's going to be a $1.5 billion investment. I don't know if the north side is ever going to see that type of investment on the north. It's coming.
Yeah.
In fact, the state legislature recently approved $100 million to get the project started. So money is coming into the pipeline to get that overpass. It's a 5.5 mile overpass from I-10 all the way to the airport. And there's going to also be a grand boulevard beneath it. So we're working closely with Alex Lazard from Destiny of Faith Church. He's also a community planner with LCG, with the ETRT, the Evangeline Thruway Redevelopment Team. And the mayor is saying, okay, that's great. We've talked about this for 40 years. Let's get this thing done. So until the money gets allocated, he says, well, because it's not a city road. It's not even a state road. Evangeline Thruway is a federal highway. It's an interstate, I-49. So we can't just go in there and just start patching things up unless we get clearance from the federal government. But the mayor is saying, let's look at some things before that connector comes.
Okay.
That we can start fixing.
Okay, we got a caller.
Okay.
Caller, good morning. Welcome to the
Good morning, guys.
Community Matters Show.
Yes, sir. I'd like to have a question, maybe answer. Why the north side has to pay for everything we need and the south side don't? Maybe you can answer that. And how about, what do you think about having a hospital on the north side? And I think you just referred about riding. We have drug problem. We had a homeless problem on the north side. We have houses that need to be broke down or built up or whatever. Everything we want, they don't want to give it to us, but they want to give us a deal that we don't want. And I don't understand that. Maybe you can answer that. I'll take it off the air.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for the call. Well,
Yeah, thank you, caller, for those powerful questions. First of all, there's a saying that says the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
yeah.
And I think it's a myth. I would just beg to differ slightly with my brother that the South Side does not have to beg for what they want. If you go to any parish council meeting or any city council meeting and there's an ordinance pending that's going to affect the quality of life on the South Side, it's packed.
Yeah.
Council chambers are packed. And those city council members and those parish council members pay attention to numbers.
Yeah.
Even if people don't show up, they call in. Veronica Williams, Veronica Arsenal now,
Yeah.
records the number of call-ins, who was for and who was against. So I would say to you, the South Side has done a great job with begging. I've seen them. I've seen them and I've heard them. And we do have leaders that have come forward, including Mr. Wallace Senegal,
Yeah.
a concerned community activist, pleading and pushing the case for what is needed on the north side. So the hospital, and I know that's an issue we've talked long about. When I was running for mayor president, that was one of the planks in my platform. I would love to see a hospital at the I-10, I-49 exchange. I'm glad to say our mayor president is committed to, as Minister Jennifer mentioned, the reactivation of our health equity task force. It wasn't just for COVID, but hypertension, heart disease, obesity, kidney disease. Those underlying conditions are what led to COVID hitting the black community and the brown community so hard, because our health care is in such a bad position. So we are working with Oxnard Lafayette General. We're working with Bentley Senegal at Our Lady of Lourdes. We've reached out to Karen Weibel at Oxnard, Tanya Bolden Ball, so many community partners so that we could address issues in addition to COVID. We're talking about sickle cell.
Yeah, right.
And so we're working closely with the Sickle Cell Association, Pastor Abram Freeman, Ms. Leola McCrae. There's just so many community leaders, 100 black men, so many that have done walkathons to support. We would love to see some kind of, while we need a hospital to say we're coming.
Right.
But until then, is there an after hours urgent care center? Is there what else can we do to provide those health services?
Well, urgent care, we got them all over on the north side, all over on the south side. But we need a major hospital north of I-10, east of University, west of Louisiana Avenue, because the closest hospital you have on the other side of I-10 is Opelousas, and that's 18 miles away. And once you dial 911, you're on an emergency call, especially when it comes down to a hospital. Now, you got Opelousas General, you have to cross a railroad track to get to it. And if they got a train blocking that entrance, where you going?
Yeah.
So this is why, and I don't want to put all the roses on my chest, but this is why I'm pushing it. This is why I'm talking about it. Now other people is talking about it, like this caller here. I see him around.
I would say to you, my brother, and to the caller, there are strength in numbers.
Yeah.
It would be powerful to pack the council chambers with residents who feel just like this gentleman. And even before the council meeting, you have the meeting before the meeting with the council members. So it's either going to be Glenn Lazar, Pat Lewis, or both of them to say, in your district, council member, we would like to have X, Y, Z. And so I don't know if they've reached out to their elected officials. That's what they're there for. Right now we're in the middle of budget season. This is perfect timing. The budget process is starting now and will be approved for final adoption in September. So this is the, and it'll take effect November 1st. So if we want to even do a study and allocate city money or parish money or city parish funds to look at the feasibility of a hospital on the north side, I would encourage civic involvement. Get with your elected officials. The mayor prepares the budget, but the council approves it. The mayor can't approve the budget. So if that is a recommendation that they would like to see, I would encourage them to speak with the mayor president, set an appointment to talk with him. If you want to go to council route, set an appointment and meet with your council representative and see who would be willing to introduce an ordinance to even study and explore and bring Oxnard, Our Lady of Lourdes, or some of these big hospital partners, because the city won't own the hospital. It's going to have to be a private company. But which company is willing to come to North Lafayette? And what partnerships could we look at?
Okay, great. Another caller. Good morning, caller.
If you want to go to council route.
Good morning, caller.
Tell them turn the television down.
You have to turn your TV down.
I did.
Okay.
I just want to piggyback on what the last caller was talking about and the response that Bishop Carlos Harvard has given. I was watching on the TV because I could not attend in person a city council meeting. And that was maybe about 2 weeks ago. And at that meeting, there was a discussion of a store, like a cigarette store or something like that, that would be put on property near where the old chief bank is on University. Now, the people in the neighborhood of Myrtle Place were adamantly against the placing of that store in that area. It turned out in numbers. I mean, there were several comments from the public there were several comments from people who did not come. The way to get action in government is with your reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So, our people minority affairs, Bishop Carlos Harvin is absolutely right. If you want to affect change, you got to turn out in numbers. Now, I'm not saying I agree, nor do I disagree. I'm not saying what I feel about the hospital on the north side. I mean, that's a different animal. But the way to affect a change is to show up and show out.
Mm-hmm. Well, they did it. They did it at the last council meeting on Wednesday. Somebody wanted to put a truck stop over there, and the people showed up and gave their opinion and everything that was going on. You know, so I agree with you on that. You know, because I done been to many council meetings. You know. And I had to speak up on things that I liked or I disliked it, you know. Right now, you know, they're talking about putting a jail up on the north side. Well, the mayor president, you know, he went and found some people to put the jail up and lease it back to the city parish after they get it up, you know. So this is why I'm speaking about it. You know, we could bring it up as much as we want, but until the people that we elected go and do studies on it or get certain monies to it, you know, it ain't gonna happen.
You bring up a great point. The decision to place the jail at the current proposed location was a decision made by the Lafayette City, the Lafayette Parish Council. Every parish or county is required by federal law to have a prison.
Right.
So you have to have a prison.
Yeah, that's if and buts about it.
Right, and that's the sheriff's responsibility, and the parish council to approve, because it's the Lafayette Parish Sheriff's Office. So anyone that's being incarcerated in the parish, there must be a place to detain them.
Yeah.
Okay. So now where that goes, there's all kind of conversations. Now I'm gonna speak as a pastor. I don't care where the prison's put. I'm gonna go find it. And I just know from the numbers of people that get incarcerated, many of them are from our community, communities of color. I'd rather a facility, I don't care where it is, I'm gonna find it, because I can go visit jails. I've had family members and friends incarcerated. And so as a pastor, I want easy, and I go with other pastors. We go in for prison ministry. I want to be able to get access to where people are going through their rehabilitation.
Right.
And they're going through pre-release, and then they're going to go through re-entry. They're going to need job training. They're going to need housing. And while they're incarcerated, even awaiting a hearing, just the emotional, just like the caller who prayed, the prayer partner this morning, while you're on lockdown, you just need to know that somebody has got your back.
Yeah.
There's somebody, and even if you make the mistake, or you maintain your innocence, whatever the outcome of your trial is going to be, you just need to know that there's somebody covering you.
Right.
And so I'd rather a facility that's close to where I am as a pastor, rather than putting it way out in the boondocks somewhere I got to drive 25 miles. I've had parents call me to say, you know, this was before I worked for the city, but you know, my son is incarcerated way out in somewhere, some town in Louisiana. Can you get him closer?
Yeah.
And this is a concerned father that, you know, I put him in touch with an attorney. But, you know, he wanted, and so, like I said, regardless of where you put it,
it's going to be put.
It's got to be put somewhere in the parish. And secondly, I think it's good if there's a community engagement with those. We don't just lock them up and throw away the key and forget about them. No, that's family members. Those are friends.
Okay, caller. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning again. So talking about the jail on the Willow, they want to put it. Never consider. I think the parish got some. Being that he mentioned the parish, got some property on Dugai Road down that road. They got a big pastor that's the parish owns. It's got a lot of areas to put a jail, and it's not 100 miles from here. Cameco is 6 miles, so you're talking about less than 6 miles. You know,
about 3 miles from the interstate to Dugai Road is about maybe 2.5, 3 miles. You know, that's what.
Well, the parish used to have that because at one time the sheriff used to maintain the property and grow vegetables and things. So that's how I know that's for them. And then they sold it. I don't know.
Yep, but very, very good observation. Like
I don't know, they just look at that one site, that's what I'm really calling for. They just look at that one site on Willow, being that he's a pastor. They got 2 churches, and they're going to have 2 schools down Willow. That's not a safe place for a jail.
Well,
So,
you know, they say a lock is not for a thief. A lock is for the innocent, because the innocent don't know how to get through the lock, but a thief know how to get through the lock. And you know, very good observation.
One more thing he said about the city council with Glenn Assar and Mr. Lewis. They just 2 votes, and after they bring it up, the other 3, if they say no, or the parish council say no, because it's just one on A.B. Rubin, and that's it.
Yeah, there's a
So
done
we don't
deal.
have to support. We don't have the support that we need for the north side, and have our representative bring it up. You know, and that's the bad part. And one more thing about the getting the city back. What he thinks about it.
Getting the
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Your caller is very well informed, and let me thank you for your involvement in getting yourself up to speed on the issues. One thing that occurred, I recall, Brother Wallace, is that you and I drove on that Dugai Road property when this conversation was over a year ago.
Yeah.
And we looked at some potential alternative sites. And while we were taking that drive on Dugai Road, we noticed a sign that said coming, future development. And it's going to be single-family homes that are going to be built near that facility. What I would say is no matter where it's placed, those residents that live closest to it are going to have some objections. And I don't know anywhere in Lafayette Parish where no one is going to be affected. So somebody's going to push back on it.
Well, let's put where the jail is now. You know, the current jail. You got Cathedral Catholic right by it. I can't think of that other school that's right by it. You know, they got churches. They got everything by that jail. You know, and I'm not gonna fight the parish, nor the city, nor the sheriff for where they want to put it. It's not going to be my jail. I might have to pay taxes for it, but I, like you say, you got to have it somewhere.
It's
You know?
mandated.
Yeah.
My question would be, you know, while we're talking about where the jail is going to go, let's look at the current site. It was built, I think, for 300. There's over 1,000 people in there. So it's overcrowded.
No, it was built for 600.
600, sorry. And you look at the annual cost to maintain that facility is throwing money into a money pit because it's not even, the standards need to be much higher, need to be better, quality standards. So
let's look at the sheriff training center. right?
Yeah, so if we look at that location, I know Sheriff Newstrom, that property was purchased when he was the sheriff.
Yeah,
And that was even before the community corrections, that brand new center was put there.
yeah.
And this was, a different warden was there. I forget the gentleman's name, but I know through the workforce office, we were doing a prisoner reentry job training program in partnership with the sheriff's department. I was working at Goodwill, going in to teach it. I taught at LPCC for guys who were 90-day pre-release before coming out. And many of them, who felt uncomfortable leaving because they felt they would relapse. So they liked staying in there because what meant they had a community of support. We brought employers in who did job interviews before they were released, so that when they got out, with a reference from their community corrections officer, there was a job waiting for them. So what's going on now on West Willow Street, that's been a vision. My understanding is for generations. When I first moved to Lafayette in the 90s, when that property was purchased, it was with that understanding that that would be where the sheriff's department would provide a correctional center and a reentry.
Like a work release program.
Exactly. So the property's it's already purchased.
Yeah.
So, like I say, rather than spending a lot of time, where is the jail going? I'm like with Judge Edwards and Judge Valerie Garrett and Judge Roy Colbert and Judge Bro with drug court. Let's look at jail diversion.
Yeah.
Why are people going there in the first place? Is there a way that we can intervene and cut down the number of people that are going into the criminal justice system? And there's things we can do as a community. We can, Frederick Douglass said as we celebrate Black History Month, he said it's easier, or it's better to build a strong child than to repair a broken man.
You're right about that. How do you say that?
So if we put our focus on the front side, and let's provide wraparound services and support, I think we'll see a reduction in our prison and jail population.
I think if we wrap our self around education, education would be a whole lot better. But we can't just wrap around education if the teachers is only there for a paycheck, and that's what a lot of things is going on. It's about a paycheck, I'm supporting my family regardless how it go, and don't care about nobody else's kid.
There's a lot of educators who are very committed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not saying all of them is not committed, but I done seen those that wasn't committed. I went in a classroom one time. My wife was up and about. We was just riding. We went to the store, something like this. I said, let's go see what's going on with our boy. And I walked in there. Sit down for a minute, talk to the teacher. The kids was teaching the teacher. And I said, oh, no, this is not really going on like this here. Every time she would say something, they would have something smart to say. So I just asked her, I said, hey, can I speak to this class for a minute? And I told them who I was, and I said, if y'all don't know me, go ask y'all mama who I am, or your dad, and they'll tell you. I come here out of respect for my grandson, and I said, maybe because we here, he ain't doing nothing, but we sent him here to get an education, and what y'all trying to teach the teacher, y'all not getting paid for it, she getting paid for it, Wow. That lady called me the next day and said, Mr. Wallace, you got to come back and visit my class again.
You became one of her best friends.
Yeah.
I can say that as a former substitute teacher in Lafayette Middle School.
Yeah.
When I taught there, I came in right after the Christmas break.
Mm-hmm.
So I had 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And they looking at me like, who you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I had to
Sizing you up.
establish myself.
Mhm.
And if the students cut up, I picked up my phone
Mm-hmm.
and I called the parents and the grandparents, just like you.
Mm-hmm.
I had a father leave his job at the Cajun Dome,
Mm-hmm.
come up to the class, stood in front of the class and said, this man is trying to teach you.
Mm-hmm.
Now and he was a perfect angel.
Mm-hmm.
Any other student, I had to call a mother on, her son was disruptive in the class.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I'm at dialysis. Don't you make me get up out this chair and come up to that school, boy. I will get you. You better do it. So from that point on, anytime a student was cut, I would go for the phone, and that's how I got control of my classroom, because I made partnerships with parents and grandparents who were concerned about backing up and supporting the teacher.
Oh, we got another call, Bishop. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. In reference to the conversation that you're having right now about the people who come out of the jail system, let's address the homeless issue for a minute here. I had the opportunity to visit the Rosa Parks Center on yesterday, and one of the employees at EOC actually confided in me. I said, what is the police presence like here at Rosa Parks Center? She said, well, if it wouldn't be for the fact that all they do is sit around and move the homeless on, instead of trying to help them, well, it's better than them going to jail. It's better than them going to the hospital. It's better than them being placed in a place that's not right for them. Bishop is absolutely right about wraparound services.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Wallace, that includes education.
Yes.
Whatever a person that is coming out of the jail system needs. If they need a food stamp application, if they need to apply for SSI, Relief Vermont United helps with all those things. If they need to get access to their birth certificate, Social Security cards, that's what wraparound services does. That's what wraparound services is all about. If they need access to medical care, that's what wraparound services does. If they need access to mindfulness activities, mental health or substance use, continuation of care, that's what a wraparound service is all about. Continuing to provide services.
Yes, ma'am. Look, we appreciate your call. We got a couple of minutes left. I want to give the bishop a chance to give his closing statement or his plea to the community. And we appreciate your call.
Once again, Brother Wallace, let me thank you for this opportunity, and I thank Mayor President Josh Guillory for the opportunity. He says in our staff meetings every Monday morning, we don't have to do this, we get to do this. This is a privilege, it's an honor to serve and to provide leadership for the people of Lafayette City and Parish. And so in this, as we celebrate Black History Month, and as we continue, the mayor has announced he's running again. He's got work, unfinished business. We're just getting started. We ain't no ways tired. And we've come too far. And as we celebrate our bicentennial year, this is our 200th year as a city parish, one victory is that there was a statue that was put up almost 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And the mayor said, at that time the statue had been up for 99 years. He said that statue ain't turning 100 years old in this city. And with the help of Fred Prejean, the leadership of Move the Mindset, and so many people, the mayor's commitment, that statue is down.
Okay, not to cut you off. You got 1 minute, caller. Caller?
Yes, I'm here.
You got 1 minute. We're getting ready to close out the show.
Yes, sir. Can I talk right now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I just wanted to thank Bishop Carlos. I've been here working with the Juneteenth committee since I moved here from Texas, and
he was a big part of helping us to get this to be a state holiday. And I just wanted to thank him for all of his work that he did inside the mayor's office and outside in the community.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Bishop, I'm gonna put you on the second TikTok.
Okay.
You got a few seconds to give your closing statement.
You know, speaking of Juneteenth, and I'm so glad Pastor Abram, my brother, called in, and we're looking forward to another celebration this year.
Okay.
And they did a spectacular job with the Juneteenth story. And the first time the Acadiana Center for the Arts sold out,
Mm-hmm.
over 500 people in the house that night for Juneteenth.
Okay, Bishop, we got to close.
Got to close.
Got to close. I appreciate you coming. I hope we can have
Got
you
to
on
have him
again
back.
another time, huh?
We have to have him back because we had some glitches, but we,
Yeah. Okay.
apologize for that.
I want to thank y'all for allowing us to come into your eyes, into your heart, into your home, and across your TV station. You know, so until next Friday, 10 o'clock, I'll see you then. Y'all be safe and be blessed.
I didn't run the closing because, you know, we had that abbreviated time. We got to go to the full
Okay.
56.
Okay.
Apologize, man. We had to-